I think many of us love this hobby. I know I do, and as fellow enthusiasts, we rub off each other, we tell each other stories, we show each other our watches, and for me, having this platform as YouTube, I want to share a story today because this watch here, it's my SLA043, and in May of this year, it broke. Well, when I say it broke, the bezel just came off. It just, boom, flicked off the actual watch. Now, whether it was my fault, whether I accidentally bumped the watch, or whether I knocked it somewhere, being a professional photographer, I've got camera bags, I've got tripods, coming in and out of the actual camera bag. There is a high probability that I did break this watch. But whatever the case, I'm going to share my story because I went into the Seiko boutique here in Melbourne. I popped into the service centre. I want to tell you how they treated me, and I want to tell you what I expected and what the final outcome was. So without further ado, let's flip the camera and let's dive in. Now, we've all heard some horror stories in the past with watches going into repair or service, going away for 6 months or 12 months at a time. It's the sort of stuff we want to all avoid. And unfortunately, when you have a watch that's got an in-house movement that potentially can't be serviced in any local watchmaker, they do need to go back to base. Now, this particular one has got an 8L35. It's a Seiko in-house movement, but any decent watchmaker here can service it. But that's not what this is about because the movement didn't need servicing. It's actually the watch itself, the bezel. I contacted Seiko, I went into their boutique, I dropped off the watch, and they said to me, okay, leave it with us, we'll keep in touch and we'll let you know. About 2 or 3 weeks later, they rang me and they said the watch has been sent off to Sydney. So there's a service centre in Sydney, and I thought, you know what, happy days, it's staying local in Australia, it's going to get fixed. Let's fast forward a month. Seiko called me up again and they said the watch cannot be fixed here in Australia. They couldn't replace the bezel here, so they sent it off to Japan. It went to the Grand Seiko studios because this watch is from Grand Seiko. They actually built this watch. Even though it says Seiko on it, it does come from the Grand Seiko factory. So I thought to myself, fair enough, it's gone back to Grand Seiko, they'll take care of it. Now, several weeks from there, Seiko called me again and they said that it's at the Grand Seiko studios, they've looked into it, and unfortunately it's not under warranty. In fact, the warranty ran out in January 2025, this year. So it's a 3-year warranty, it just ran out. I put the watch in May, so 4 or 5 months out of warranty. And I said, look, whatever the case, just get the bezel fixed, let me know. Now, the lady that I was speaking to in the service centre here in Melbourne, she was the one that I was liaising with. She was going back and forth to Grand Seiko and to me. She said to me that Grand Seiko decided to actually cover the watch under warranty. And I said, okay, that's great. Now, she did stipulate that the warranty does not cover things like wear and tear or accidental knocks. That's not covered. And I understand that completely. I don't think manufacturers should cover that, but they ended up covering it under warranty nonetheless. Now, you don't know how much you miss a watch or how much you like a watch until you put a watch aside or it's gone from your watch box for a decent period of time. And the way I felt about this watch, it was already missing from my watch box for at least 2.5 months, and I thought, gee, I really miss looking at that watch. Where is it? So fast forwarding to when the actual watch did get repaired is exactly 3 months. I got a phone call from Lydia again and she said to me, Pete, the watch is here, they fixed it, we're happy to ship it out to you. Give us your address and we'll post it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to go in and see them personally. So I went back to the Seiko boutique here in Melbourne. I picked up the watch and something was bugging me in the back of my mind. And I thought, I'm going to get this off my chest. So I said to Lydia, I said, I need to ask you a question. I said, did Grand Seiko cover this watch under warranty because potentially they knew that I had a YouTube channel, I was going to do a video about this? I don't know, I'm just saying. And she said no. That's not the case. I don't even think that they know whose watch it was. So that spoke volumes to me because covering a watch out of warranty, 3 or 4 months out of warranty, fixing it, replacing the bezel, covering all the costs from here to Sydney, Sydney to Japan, Japan back to Melbourne, I didn't pay a thing. So I'm going to take Lydia on her word that what happened is what happened, that I didn't get any special benefits because of maybe a YouTube channel or what have you. Now, sharing all this, I've had a really good experience with Seiko and Grand Seiko with their service centre. I'm taking Lydia on her word that they didn't know who I was. I'm taking on her word that this is what happened because she actually went on to share with me that sometimes Seiko has actually covered watches 6 months, 12 months out of warranty, just for a goodwill, just to please the client and to say, you know what, we'll overlook it, we'll cover that. Now, for me personally, for those who've been following this channel, I've left some videos in maybe the past several years, some gripes regarding Seiko. Things like quality control issues, misaligned bezels, misaligned chapter rings, just general quality control that shouldn't come out of a factory like Seiko, and at any price point. It doesn't matter whether it's a $500 watch or a $7,000 watch, it's irrelevant. I think QC issues are QC issues and they should be rectified, and Seiko should know better. It's not the only brand, there are other brands. And I think that's important for us to know as watch enthusiasts. You occasionally get a bad watch. The dilemma that I did have with Seiko is watches coming out of the factory with misaligned bezels or chapter rings and what have you. It's not acceptable. And I still have that issue. If I was to buy a watch from Seiko again, the first thing I'd like to do is get hands-on with it. Have a look at it and see that the things are pleasing to me and it's past certain quality standards that I would expect from a $500, $1,000 or $2,000 or even a $5,000 watch, whatever the money is. But whatever the case, the experience that I did have with the service center and Seiko itself, I think was very good. Now, I want to share something about me. When the actual bezel did come off, I got some mixed feelings because I had the watch in one hand and the bezel in the other hand. And I actually really liked the look of this watch without the bezel. It sort of reminded me of Marlon Brando in Apocalypse Now. I don't know if many of you guys know the backstory, but Marlon Brando was playing Captain Kurtz in the Apocalypse Now, and he wore his own Rolex. He had a Rolex GMT Master, and there was a Pepsi. It was pretty loud, and Francis Coppola said to him, "Mate, you're not going to wear that watch on set." They had an argument. Brando refused. Coppola said no. They ended up headbutting. They found a common place. So what Brando did, he actually pried that bezel off. He took the bezel off himself. He went and sourced a steel bezel, put that on, changed out the strap, put a black strap on it, and the watch now looked really toned down. So when the bezel on my Seiko came off, it reminded me of that story, but I liked the look of it. I thought, gee, I'm so tempted to keep it like this. But then I remembered I'm not Marlon Brando. So I'm not a celebrity, I'm not a movie star. I love my watches. So I decided, you know what, I'll get this fixed. Long story short, I want to give a big shout out to Seiko, specifically Grand Seiko, for repairing this. I still didn't like the 3-month wait that I have to endure. I think some things like that are unavoidable, and this is something that comes into play we should consider when buying watches. Whenever there's parts that need to be sourced from the manufacturer, there are always going to be delays. Now, 3 months wasn't a great deal of time, but it did cause me to stop and think and look at this watch when I did get it back and say, gee, I really missed it. I do enjoy it. It's been in my collection from day dot. It's still here. And I think watches like that resonate with you have a special place in the watch box. Unfortunately, in this case with the Seiko, it did have to go back to base, back to Japan. And these are the sort of things that we need to consider when investing into this hobby and in watches. It's all part of the journey and the learning process. So hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you guys have had a similar experience, good, bad or indifferent, from any brand and any watch. For me, this time it turned out very good, and the watch looks as good as the day I first purchased it. Thanks for watching. Be well and safe. Continue to enjoy this hobby and one another, and we'll see you in the next one.